Hello, today is neupogen day, and I thought I'd share how I give my shot, my experience with the side effects, and also my unique situation, which is that I don't have cancer, and I do not take chemo that wipes out my neutrophils. I have an autoimmune disease that means that I make plenty of white blood cells in my bone marrow, but by the time it gets to my circulating blood, my body kills them off. So, self-destructive. So basically I started off having a low white blood cell count very mildly in 2014. I didn't notice it, my doctors didn't notice it, and last year around this time I saw my own labs after a visit to a terrible rheumatologist who told me the pain was in my head, and that because I'm a nurse that I was basically internalizing my patient's pain. So yeah, I didn't go back to him, but he did blood work on me and I noticed that I had a low white blood cell count, and then I went to my historical labs with other doctors who had only done one lab each, and I noticed that over the course of a year my white blood cell count had been low, so I knew that was not normal. And I went to a hematologist, and long story short, had 2 bone marrow biopsies. I don't have any cancers, but I do have this really crappy autoimmune condition. So I take neupogen. In the last year, I was taking it just kind of as needed, like whenever my labs came back and my numbers were low and I was feeling really run down. But now I am always run down. So my neutrophil count averages around 0.1. It's gone lower, occasionally higher, but not very much, usually around 0.1. So we're doing neupogen every week to try to keep my lowest neutrophil count for the week at 0.5 or above. Not necessarily a normal level, but definitely at least not as high a risk, because I am a nurse in a hospital, so I want to continue working. So we started off with 100 micrograms, and it was not sufficient. So the last week and this week we're doing 200 micrograms to see if that works. Have not seen the labs yet for this week, so we'll see. I also wanted to do this video because I had, notification. I had been having a lot of side effects that were very severe, and my doctor kind of told me that I shouldn't be having as much pain as I was having. And I looked it up, and I talked to patients who take neupogen, and I'm not crazy. It causes pain. It's bone pain, sometimes muscle pain, but it can be very severe. But the difference is that my doctor normally deals with cancer patients who usually have pain medication. And all the patients I've talked to and all the people I've seen on videos on YouTube and on chat rooms, message boards, whatever you call them, they all say that they just pop a pain pill whenever they have the pain, and I don't really have that because I'm normal. I don't have cancer. So that has been an ongoing struggle to deal with the pain and not have any assistance, especially now that I'm doing it every single week. So that sucks. But what more bothers me than the pain is actually the nausea and vomiting. It is severe. I take Zofran, I take Phenergan. They weren't sufficient. I was still so sick. I actually videotaped myself a couple weeks ago while I was having my side effects, and I was gonna talk through what I was feeling, but I couldn't speak because I was afraid I was gonna throw up. But I work with a hematologist who's not my actual doctor, but he recommended drinking lots of water. And when you have nausea, you don't think of drinking water. You think that's counterintuitive, like you'd be throwing it back up. But apparently something about the production of new cells, if you drink the water or hydrating, actually helps with nausea. I tried it last week and it was a complete 180. I was able to eat while on neupogen. Actually got a little too overzealous. I ate too much, and that made me a little nauseous, but that's just me being overexcited. So drinking lots of water does help. I know that's something that none of my actual doctors that I pay to go see told me about, but you know, it's out there for you guys now. The other thing is I put a Dramamine patch on my belly. That helped too. The nausea was my biggest complaint. Pain, I'll deal with that, but being able to, you know, function and have my dog not bark during my videos, that would be nice too. Being able to function while on my shots, be able to clean my house, do random errands, that's nice. Sorry, I'm not doing this video over again just because of the dog. Anyway, so I am going to give my shot. I gave it to myself. I didn't like to at first, even though I'm a nurse, but now I suck it up because this happens so frequently. I've done it so many times, it's no big deal anymore. I don't have any kind of YouTube setup. I'm not a YouTuber, but I'm just going to hold my camera with my knees, cotton ball with alcohol, because I never seem to have alcohol swabs at home, only at work. I take the single Jex neupogen right here. So, and I, because it's in a 300 microgram vial, I actually went ahead and got rid of 1/3 of it because I'm only doing the 200. So I just go straight in with one arm, and you know, a lot of people will have two hands and they can pinch, but I don't, so I just go right in. It does help if you let it warm up from the fridge. And it also helps to push really slowly, which I'm doing. Because the pain at the site can be troublesome. And I'm done. And then I just put the safety card up and put it in my sharps box. So that was it for my shot. It's really a small needle. If you really know needles at all, it's a tiny needle. It's really thin and it's really short. The other thing to do is, like, if you are gonna pinch, I don't always recommend the pinching. I actually recommend spreading out. That's me. It seems to hurt less if you, for me, it hurts less if you just spread out the skin. If you're gonna pinch, make sure the skin is taut and it's not, you know, fluffy, wrinkly, or whatever. Because you don't want the surface that the needle's going into to be squishy. You want it to be nice and tight, so that way the puncture is fast and then the push is slow. So anyway, I will come back in a little bit with some side effect video. I'll actually probably connect to the video that I did a couple weeks ago with my side effects, where I couldn't explain anything. I was just so sick. I have to go to bed. I have a bowl next to my bed. I have water and crackers, saltines. It's a miserable experience when you don't have the Zofran, the Phenergan, the Dramamine patch, the hydrating, and of course no pain pill. It is, I almost gave up at one point, but luckily the hydrating does help, and I'm kind of hanging on. I just really want to continue being a nurse, so we'll see how this goes. Thanks.